So why don't we just start off with, why are you running? Why did you decide to do this?
Well, I was asked to by several members, former members, current members, and also others who are very concerned about the future of the National Rifle Association. I was contacted via email last week and asked to think about this and consider it. And of course, they put out a press release saying that they were seeking to draft me. And I told them that I needed time with the wife and the family to pray about this and to discuss it with them because it's a huge endeavor, which definitely affects the family as well. A lot of travel time being away. And so over the weekend, we made the decision to go forth. And I'm not running against anyone. I'm running for the National Rifle Association, for its membership, because I think it is so important when you look at the assault that the progressive socialist left is making against all of our constitutional rights, but most importantly about the Second Amendment rights, because as history has taught us, if you don't have the ability to protect and defend yourself, then you are open to tyranny and totalitarianism. And that's why they are seeking to tear down the Second Amendment here. We need a strong National Rifle Association in order to preserve that right and that freedom.
Okay. Now, but certainly, obviously, the NRA has a leader, executive vice president right now, and it is Wayne LaPierre. And he's been in that position for, 30 years, right? And certainly he's been the subject of a lot of controversy the last several years, accusations of corruption, of misspending NRA money on personal expenses like private flights and suits and, yacht trips and vacations, things of that nature. Is that what ultimately is motivating you in this at all, or what?
Well, what's motivating me is a call to service. I mean, I served 22 years in the United States Army. My family is all about serving this country. And on 31 July 1982, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. And so when I see that this organization, which is the nation's oldest civil rights organization, that is a defender of one of those constitutional rights and our Bill of Rights, we don't want to see our organization not be able to be focused and being out there on this ideological battlefield. So I think that when you look at the people who came to me, that's what the nature of a real true servant is. And if someone that has taken the oath to this country to support and defend the Constitution, that oath does not have a statute of limitations. So I'm not focused on a person. I'm focusing on making sure that the members get what they expect out of an organization that they're giving their donations to, their sweat equity and their treasure and their resources to be able to make sure that they have the ability to keep and bear arms.
And speaking of the people who put together this draft campaign to get you to run, you got the current board member, Phil Journey, right? And then a couple of former board members like Rocky Marshall, for instance. And they've been trying to reform the organization from inside for several years now, since these corruption allegations broke back in 2019. And, they haven't been very successful in terms of, changing leadership or in the bankruptcy, they tried to get an independent examiner appointed to look through the NRA's finances. They've tried to intervene in the New York lawsuit, the corruption lawsuit against the NRA, headed up by Attorney General Letitia James, Democrat there. What makes you confident that you'll be more successful in this current reform attempt?
Well, I don't know if I will be successful, but you have to at least have the opportunity to try. The motto of the British Special Air Service, their SAS, is who dares wins. And so we sit back and do nothing. That's one of the things that Sir Edmund Burke talked about, is all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. So I applaud these directors and former directors who understand their fiduciary responsibilities and duties to the membership of the National Rifle Association as board members to make sure that they're trying to correct this ship. And as you know, going back to 2019 in Indianapolis, I was one of the first people that stood up and said, we've got to do better. We've got to regain the trust and confidence. And I did call for the resignation of Wayne LaPierre. And of course, stepping out and doing that publicly, that resulted in my losing a committee leadership position. I was set to be the vice president of the outreach committee and several other things. And last year in August of 2021, when I see that there is no real effort to do what is necessary for the change in leadership, for the reformation of the National Rifle Association, so that we can get back focused to our core competencies, I decided to resign quietly from the board last fall.
Why did you decide to do that quietly instead of making more of a public statement about it?
Because I'm a quiet professional. I say what needs to be said, and if people don't want to heed to it, then I'll just move on. Because I think one of the most important things for me, and having served in the military, is honor, integrity, and character, and I want to see that restored to the National Rifle Association. And I believe that there is a cabal of individuals that, for whatever reason, they don't want to see these reforms, which is so necessary, and they have put this organization at risk. When you look at the lawsuits that is pending from the Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, and the court trial is coming up in October. So either the board can decide that they want to reform and change the leadership, or someone else is going to decide. And I don't think we want the state of New York making that decision.